everyone, and welcome to another episode of Optimal Life Balance with Coach Vicki. And I'm Coach Vicki, and I'm where you take charge of your life, both personally and business, and have fun along the way. Today's topic is going to be accountability and the power of taking back your power. So I want to make sure you realize that we have and you have the power of controlling what happens in your life through your accountability of your life. We always say, we grow up as a child, and this is to take accountability. And I know as I talk to my own daughter, that is I'd rather you tell me the truth and be accountable for what you did on there, that I'll be mad at you more for lying to me than holding you accountable, that if you did something wrong, that I'm still going to love you no matter what. But when we get older, even more, to take that accountability and be shown as maybe doing something wrong or feeling like we are not perfect and how others are going to represent and think about us, we sometimes don't hold ourselves accountable or don't state it as we should be for that. And then the truth is we could be missing out on what greatness is in front of us if we don't hold up to what we've done and being accountable and take the accountability as an opportunity of learning. So what I wanted to kind of do, some benefits of being accountable, is it builds confidence because you hold yourself to your self-esteem, you build a confidence of who you are. And when you start holding yourself accountable to what you want to be and do, you start realizing you are worth it and your weaknesses can become your strength. You also want to start making some positive changes in the responsibilities that you can have take control, that you do have control of the situation. Anything else, but it could also strengthen relationships and it will reduce stress over the long run. So some tips to stay accountable. Evaluate your performance, making new habits and keeping the roles of what you want to do while experiencing something. Focusing on what is your end goal that you want to have. Having a coach can help you with that accountability. But when you have that strong enough why in your life of why you're doing something, you wind up starting to hold yourself accountable. So when you want to do that, you want to make sure you are doing it for the right reason. And because when the right reason is there, it just keeps you on track better. Monitoring yourself, making sure you pay attention. Are you doing what you said? Are you holding yourself accountable of going for that walk, paying off that debt, starting that business, whatever it is? But remember, we have these big dreams and big goals, but we need to break them down to small action steps so we don't feel so overwhelmed and we can keep ourselves accountable. And that is setting those realistic goals. When we set them realistically on what we are doing, we find it easy to hold ourselves accountable because we're not so far out of stretch that we don't know what we're doing. So just think of that when you're starting your next project or whatever it may be. Are you setting those goals so big that you're going to fail, that you can't even hold yourself accountable because it's not realistic to it? Listen carefully. It's difficult to hear what others say when you are doing something, when you have an open mind, when people are giving you advice, but also take it with a grain of salt, on there. But you want to listen carefully into hearing what wisdom they may give you, because you don't know everything else. You're learning and doing, just as myself, you're learning in what you're doing. And as you go through it, you're going to become more confident and more precise in it. But till you do that, you may want to listen to what others say. But the same token, you want to listen with an open mind and making sure they're not persuading you from your core values and who you are. Apologize if you are wrong, if you do something wrong, to avoid repeating it, realizing it to yourself. But the thing is with all of these, and consider others in, if you have a team of people to work, and how it will, the accountability of the work, how it might affect somebody else. But all of these skills so far on there is, there's only one person you have to answer to and feel the thing else to it. Besides, is God and you. Let's just say two people, and I guess is God and you. When you know you're doing what you're doing, and you're staying in your integrity to what you're supposed to do and what God has put you on this earth to do, and you're staying true to your values, it doesn't matter what others think on there. So you want to make sure you realize, though you're going and doing all what you're doing and what you want to achieve, that you want to evaluate your performance, monitor yourself, setting realistic goals, listening carefully to others, building those skills, and consider others. Through it all, you need to consider yourself and your true core values don't get lost, because that is the most important part of it. Because what good is it achieving something if you lose yourself? All right. So when we want to start fostering some of these accountability things to take power and control of our lives again, we want to make sure we're communicating clearly, engaging in our, we're being more accountable, making it easier to be able to assume the responsibility, setting your expectations up before you even start, letting you know. And that is something that sometimes we don't know how to do for ourselves. We can do it for others, but it's hard to do it for ourselves, to communicate clearly. We kind of know what we have to do, but we don't know how to do it. And that is where a coach can help assist you with setting up those structures. Because when you have a clear line structure and a tool system to help you stay accountable, you find it a lot easier. Be forgiving of yourself and others for when you go off track. You may not, stay on track of doing that walking every day or whatever it may be, but that's okay. You're human, things come up, but also don't use it as an excuse to stay off track. Get yourself back on track and give yourself another chance to start over with it. They're saying, when you're making these changes, it is not something that's you didn't build the habit in one day. You're not going to break the habit in one day. But the only way you're going to do it is continue taking small action steps. But the same token is if you fall off that wagon of the action step, or you don't do it every day like you promised you would, you have to look in the mirror and say, okay, why did we mess up? Or no, that's not a mess up. Why didn't we do what we were supposed to do? Because the first thing we're going to do is start saying we messed up, we're not worthy, we can't do this. All those negative thoughts are going to come in our head. But instead, we got to turn around and say, okay, what got in our way? What blocker came into our path of why we want to do this? And how can we defeat that next time? Because till you realize to listen to what is you're saying in your head and stopping in its tracks, and then going, okay, if I continue down this path, I'm going to be continuing down the same way if things were going. But if I start changing what I'm doing in my mindset and how I'm looking at it, I can start making a shift and start going down the other path that's meant to go down. So we want to remember to forgive ourselves if we do not do everything perfect, but also don't use it as an excuse or a crutch to not get right back up and do it again. Giving that feedback from others, like we were talking before, being specific and observing and what everything else, but be careful of what we ask for and what we receive. And being a role model once you feel like you've assuming the accountability that you can. But when we learn something and we want to share with others, and we start stepping out there as a leader, we are a role model, but we are still human. on it. And I don't ever want, and then I think I'm not perfect. I'm sure I've done some messes ups in some of my presentations. And even today, I feel like I'm stuttering sometimes, but I'm not perfect. But I'm doing my best. I'm trying to assist where I've been and helping somebody along the way. God has given it to me to put this passion that I have to help others and pour it out as best as I can, and being human while I'm doing it, being that realize that I am not perfect either for it, but I'm here to help you become best ability if you can by giving you the tools and systems that I've learned, by realizing what you may have been told in the past you can break free from, by realizing when you take charge of your life and not listen to everybody else's scenario for your life, you'll start living a life that you've meant to be. You'll start being more happy. You know, my title, my thing is Take Charge, both personally and in business, so you can have fun again and enjoy life. That is so important, and we sometimes forget about that. But to do that, we do have to hold ourselves accountable for what we want in our lives. We have to decide, what is it that we want? What is it that you want? What do you want to do with your life? And if you're not sure, that's why I love to assist you. I love to go and sit down with you a few minutes. I offer a free 30-minute coaching session just to see if we work together well and where you want to go, if that's something I can assist you with, because maybe not. And if it's not, I will be honest and tell you that's not in my wheelhouse, but let's see if we can find somebody that it may be. But the main thing we want to try to do is, when I work with a client, is I want to see how can we use the range of tools that I've got in my tool belt, which one works best for you, or which two or three might be best to help you, because we figure out how you learn and how you absorb information and try to give it to you that way so you can observe and learn for yourself. Because not everybody learns the same way, grows the same way, will have the same path. They may all want the same journey at the end, but everybody's path is completely different. But when you take control, have accountability for what you are, you take back that power. You have control of where you want to go. When you ask God, what is my path? Help guide me down it. You'll be surprised how he does. So what I want you just to kind of do today is, part of your thing is to sit back and reflect. Am I really holding myself accountable? But first, what am I holding myself accountable to? Is it something I really want that I am going to hold myself accountable? Or is it something that somebody else, I'm doing because somebody else wants it? Because then if that's the truth, you're not going to stay accountable. You're not going to stay true to what you want to do because it's not something you want. So let's start really thinking about it. And I would love to work with you one-on-one, get some information, go visit my website. I've got some new courses coming up on there, just to kind of start getting the mindset thinking. I've got some free 5-day high five self-esteem challenge there. So it's just different things that I've been trying to put together to help you help yourself. So with that being said, everyone, I want to you all have a blessed and fun day. And thank you very much for coming to stay in tune. And I'll see you next time here on Optimal Life Balance.